So we've got this great reason to set up an S Corp, which is you can save on your payroll taxes. But as you enlightened me when we prepared for this session, that S Corps are not always suitable for companies that hold appreciating intellectual property assets. And can you explain why?
Sure. And this is also a surprise to a lot of folks, and it's kind of technical. But in essence, when you put something into an entity that's a corporation, so S corporation or C corporation, that same property does not come back out of that entity unless it comes out of that entity at fair market value and with tax consequences. So if I have something in my LLC, single member, multi-member partnership, and I want to take it out, I don't have to pay taxes when I take it out. I take it out, and whatever my basis is in that it stays in the basis. If I have something in an S corporation, a C corporation, and I want to take it out of the entity, it's got to come out at that fair market value, and I have to pay taxes on it when it comes out of the entity, not later on.
Okay, so let me just see if I can clarify this a little bit. When you say take it out of the entity, does that mean if you have an S Corp, that doesn't, if you're just selling your stock, that's not bringing it out of the entity, right?
Correct. You'd have tax consequences because you're selling the stock, which embodies all of the assets in the entity.
Right. And so the stock would be valued at a certain amount based on the value of the assets in the entity.
Correct.
But when you're taking it out of the entity, so you've built this body of intellectual property, and over time it's earning revenue from multiple revenue streams, and its value has increased over time. What is the circumstance under which you would be taking those assets out of the entity?
You might want to spin it off, or you might be approached by somebody who wants to just buy that one aspect of your business, or team with you or partner with you, or put it into another entity that's then going to go public. So these are complicated situations. Usually this happens with intellectual companies or intellectual property companies that have software or code, and they want to get it out and do something else with it, but they don't want to have immediate tax consequences. A real practical way to look at this would be if I have my car in my LLC business and I'm going to get a new car and I want to give my old car to my son. If I give my old car to my son in an LLC or a sole proprietorship, there's no tax consequences in me giving me the car. If I have my car in my S corporation and I give it to my son, then I have to pay the fair market value on that car, the taxes on it, and he can't have that car, without the consequences. So there's a lot more flexibility in an LLC or a sole proprietorship as far as property kind of coming and going in and out of an entity.